Hello, good morning. How's everyone doing? Hope you're having a lovely weekend so far. We are here, we are going to be chatting with Tally about how to decorate your home on a budget. Now, she's just there, so I'm going to call her in. And we can have a little chat about how to get started if you want to revamp your home and your house. Hello.
Good morning, Vicky. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thanks. How are you?
Very good, very good. The sun was shining yesterday. I'm happy.
Yeah, it was a lovely day. Quite delightful.
Yeah, great.
Now, I was saying we're going to have a look at how to revamp, decorate your home, but on a budget.
Yes. Now, we've talked about, as you mentioned, furniture, clothes. We're trying to do it all, aren't we?
We are. Why
Make
not?
some money. Let's do it all. Let's do it all. Your home. Yes. Now, where do you begin? You might decide, oh, okay, I just want to revamp a room. But really, you've got to start, as they say, from the very beginning. You've got to think about, right, what is your home? Is it a new build? Is it Victorian, Edwardian, Georgian even? You know, what style is it, first of all? What have you just moved in? Have you been here for years? Why are you revamping? What is it about? And what kind of things do you like? These are all very big questions. So
yeah,
first of all, sorry, huge questions. This time of the morning, we'll make sure you need a coffee or an espresso. But yeah, really fundamentally, why is it that you feel like you need? Are you, have you had it a few years? Do you get bored quickly? Do you follow fashion, so you want to do that with your home? It's a really sort of big question. So say, for example, you just go, wow, we've had this front room for like 10 years. We need to change it. Now, if you change just one room, how is that going to affect the rest of the house? Now, you've got to think, what is your style? What suits your lifestyle? Have you got kids? Is it just you and your partner? Is it just you on your own? Do you have a dog? Do you have a cat? I know all these little silly things, but it really depends on kind of room, furniture, all of these things come into play. But first of all, I would say, what is your style? What is your style if you want to change it? So do you have do you like natural? So you like white, you like natural floorboards, pine, leaves, you really like a natural looking home? Or are you more sort of, you like your concretes and your greys and sort of really up to date techno kitchen and the latest trends? Are you eccentric? Do you like a lot of color? Do you like full? Do you like your space of things can breathe? Do you want a wall full of art? Or do you want, so those are those kinds of things.
So we kind of need to decide first, what sort of property you have and what will sort of suit the style that you are living in already. And then to decide after that what sort of look you want necessarily that might flow all the way through your house or home.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm terrible. Sometimes me and my husband go for a walk and I'm looking at properties, and there's a lot of houses around here that are quite Art Deco, 1930s, there's Victorian, Edwardian, so there's a real range, and I really look as I go past, and some people really change that house, and I think you've got to be very careful of putting your add-ons to think. If you have a lovely Victorian place, then the fireplaces, the bay windows, fighting against that, you can do it. I'm not saying there's any, as we said before with clothes, wear what you want, decorate what you want, but it's really lovely if you ease that into so for example, if you have a Victorian house and you've got all the lovely fireplaces that's sort of really Victorian and dark woods, then maybe have white walls. You juxtapose it, and that keeps things a bit modern and fresh. Simple things like that. But yeah, you're right, Vicky, what style of house have you got? And I'm not saying that this is just my theory, but I do believe what's really nice is that if you have a style or colours you like, that somehow they should manifest through the whole home.
Yeah.
So that any piece of furniture in your living room could fit in your bedroom, your kitchen, your bathroom, your office, your garden. So there's a really lovely through colour, so nothing jarring. So if you get people over and go, can I grab that cushion? Can I get that plate? Can I get that chair? It will match in any of the colour of rooms you have.
Yeah, so you kind of have almost a theme that runs through.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we can see even from where we are now, you have got sort of your pinks and blues and sort of lilac colours, and I'm definitely going for the more kind of monochrome whites, blacks, greys with splashes of colour.
Exactly.
But doesn't mean that either couldn't work in the properties that we have.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I think it's fundamental thinking, like, what do you want to do up? Is it the whole house? You know, because obviously at the moment people are thinking of their homes, and you could do it room by room, but it's really good to think about a look. Now, if you want to, as I know you've been doing a lot of DIY the last couple of weeks, you know, fixing little areas, you know,
Yeah.
you've got to get your brass basics ready, like, you know, top to toe. How's your ceiling? How are your doors? What's the flooring like? Are your radiators good? Is the paint peeling off them? Are there little chips on corners of things? Do you need any replastering done? Do you
And
need,
actually,
before you start anything, you know?
Yeah, oh, definitely. You need to have that kind of almost perfect canvas before you get started. But even if you've got little nicks in walls or nicks in wood or anything like that, it is really easy to fix. Super easy to fix. And as I was saying yesterday, you can even buy pre-mixed bits. You don't even have to sort of do that. They just come in tubes, especially if you've only got little bits to do. It does make it nice and easy. Just as long as you've got a flat surface, like a little spatula, make sure it's nice and smooth, rub it down with some sandpaper, and you are creating your own blank canvas to get started. And that's really easy to do.
Yeah, I mean, simple things. I mean, frog tape, I cannot live without it. A frog tape, pair of scissors, sandpaper, some paint, some, you know, adhesives here and there. I mean, they're going to get you through. So you really need to think about that. And as we're trying to save money, you know, I don't know how everyone is close to their neighbours or their family, but it's really good before you're thinking about, like, if you want to sand the floors, for example, that is a huge, massive job. Or you want to do any, ask around. Does anyone have this? You know, any tools, so you don't have to go. So what's the point of buying something really expensive you're only going to use once? Because there's a lot of things you can hire.
Yeah, I was just about to say, there's a website that you can hire big sort of tools, or any kind of tools really. They do it, and I would imagine you can do that on different websites from personal people as well, rather than just from a company.
Yeah, exactly. So before we talk about what decor you could have in your home, I think it's fundamentally to go, right, before you start changing anything, is everything in place?
Is it good? It's good to
is
go.
your foundations is your foundations right? And then after that, then I would go, right, what is it you're thinking of doing? What kind of thing do you want in your house, and does that spread through? I mean, obviously if you've got children, you know, your son, your daughter might want their own sort of gaff, you know, their own things, so that you might, you know, so that's fine. But the nature of the rest of your house, how you want it, and that starts at your very front door. If you're lucky to have a balcony or even a garden, you know, how that develops in, and it will make a place, especially if you know, small and you've got storage problems, you know, that's another thing we can tackle maybe next week. All these little things, you know, if you've got a lovely flat and there's no storage, it's, again, can you put that in your furniture? What furniture do you buy? Where can that go? In a seated window, in, you know, cupboards? It's all those things. So it's really fundamental. Why do you want to change things? Is you've got to ask the first question, and what are you going to change them to?
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest pieces of advice that I got when I was doing like a big upheaval, big sort of redecorate, is take your time.
Yes.
I mean, I remember my whole living room was a bit of a mess. It all got refurbished, but when it was still a mess, I literally sat on the floor, I think, for quite a considerable amount of time, just sat on the floor deciding what colour palette I wanted, where could things go, and kind of almost having a vision about what I wanted before I got anywhere near doing any of it.
See, Vicky, it's really great that I'm sorry you had that moment, but it's also great that you had that moment. You're absolutely right. Time. I think what happens is people get a home, we need it completed now. And like hopefully our own personal development, not to get too deep here on a Saturday morning, but you know, we're constantly growing, and so will your home. Everything will evolve, hopefully for the better. If you go, right, I've done my bathroom, thanks very much, it's going to be like that for 30 years. Well, sure you can, but you're going to change in that. Your taste is going to change in that. Your requirements might change in that. Things will get worn and torn, and you might want to replace it, you know. So it's it's really good. Like before me and my husband got this place, we were working abroad for 6 years. I had 6 years uh, just thinking how I was going to decorate this house, whatever it was when we got it.
Yeah.
I had a lot of time. And so it's really enjoying that as well.
Yeah.
And then again, we've talked about flea markets. We've talked about, you know, maybe going out when there's a rubbish day. If you want to add furniture, there might be other bits, shelving units, bricks even, windows. You know, it's really thinking about what is it that you really want. And it's okay to change. I mean, if you're changing your house every 2 years, and there's a, you know, that could be costly, and why. So there's something that, you know, you need to, but if it's like, oh my God, we've had this for 5-7 years, let's change it, the great. Because, you know, you've got to make it budget wise. Changing a kitchen or a bathroom every 2 years is not very good on your on your wallet.
But also there are so many places where you can pick up freebies as well. One of my favorite websites is FreeCycle.
Amazing.
Just because I think, because people do revamp and change and move and things like that, it's not necessarily a place where people just want to get rid of kind of their rubbish bits. It's just that people are changing, like you say, and evolving or moving. Yeah. And that piece of furniture doesn't necessarily fit anymore. There's nothing wrong with it. It just doesn't suit that person. So FreeCycle is so good for sort of helping people make space, and you get things that don't cost you anything.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, you know, there is FreeCycle. It's just incredible, isn't it? You know, come and pick it up, and then you go and, you know, we can travel and pick stuff up. It's absolutely amazing to have that ability. It's same with, you know, I love a Chazza. I adore a charity shop. You find such treasures in those things. Yeah, but exactly. I mean, like someone might be getting rid of some windows. You know, I know it sounds bizarre, but people, there's you know, other people's sort of rubbish, as you would say, is other people's treasure.
Yeah, for sure.
And it depends what you need. But I would fundamentally think about, what is it you're trying to change? Think about what is it you want to do? What is it you need? Is it storage? Are you trying to find more room? Is it just want to change the color? You're in a different place. Maybe you physically, your requirements have changed. You know, maybe, you know, for example, you might be pregnant. You might, you know, want a different room. You've got to change that. Or, for example, you know, you're not so good on your feet now, so you need to maybe put everything downstairs in the house. Yeah. I mean, we're talking, you know, disabilities. You're talking on my eyesight. You know, I need things a bit different, but I still want my house to feel, you know, like me, because that is an expression of ourselves as well. So it's all, why do you want to change it? What's
it could be as much as so many more people at the moment are working from home. Yeah. So you're in your home a lot more, so you're going to see things, but also you might need to create a bit of an office space or an area where, you know, you can sit and work on a laptop or whatever it is. And it could be just as simple as that you need to change it, because now actually your office is at home most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, simple things like, you know, if you you had a big wall space and it was in an alcove like I've got here, but you made it into a wardrobe, it could be closed in the daytime. You got, you know, you got in the evening, you got friends over, and the daytime you open it and it's a desk with a light and all your storage. So it's really fundamental why you're changing things and what you're doing. And once you've decided this is why I'm changing, is it a room, and is that room going to go with everything else? Plus, if you're going to do the whole house slowly, one room by one room, if you do them all at the same time, you're going to go crackers.
It's really sort of, you feel a sense of achievement, don't you, when you finish something. So if you've got a room, rather than going, like you say, all the way through the home, just do a little bit at a time, get it done, check it off, and you feel much better about it.
Yeah, and also, you know, if you've got the time, you know, you know, instead of doing a whole room in a day, you know, painting walls, you know, I've done like two, and I've done one coat, done another coat, left it. So I do a nice job, because otherwise you can rush, like we said, about time. So fundamentally, think about what it is you want to change. And it's really simple. Paint, you know, we're talking about dog tape, you know, frog tape, I should say, just brilliant to use. But think about why you're changing it. Is it the room? Is it the whole house? Do it bit by bit. And then second of all, maybe we'll talk about this next week, is your accent. What colours? So, for example, if you've got your granny's chair that you've loved, and you go, oh boy, what am I going to do with that chair if I change it? Well, you can. It's just, you know, you can upholster it, or you could put that keep it in the room, but it depends what background you want of that chair that will update it or not. So think about what colours. So I would say to everyone who's watching, who's thinking about doing this, is to really think, what colours do you want as your base? Is it white and black? Is it white and grey? And then make things, so what are your accent colours? So think about maybe 4 colours that you would like flowing through your house. Not to say you couldn't add other colours.
Yeah.
Do you want feature walls? Do you want one of those walls to have wallpaper? Could your feature wall be your ceiling, in fact? Could you have a pattern on your ceiling? Could you bring lines in? Again, really cheap frog tape. Do a circus-like tent, fill in white, red in a children's room. You know, your neck, you'll have to ask someone to give you neck massages, because as everyone knows, doing ceilings I hate doing ceilings, I have to say. I moan and groan all the time when I'm doing it, but they look great when they're done.
Need a long arm roller, that's what you need.
Oh, well, it's just this, you know. But yeah, I mean, do the ceiling, do the floor. You know, why not have a dark blue floor instead of a wooden floor or black floor? Do you see what I mean? And it's cheap, but it just takes time.
Yeah, that's it. It's about deciding what you want, what suits your home, making sure you're prepped and ready. And as I said, finding sort of fine fill, which is the plaster to fill in all the little nooks and sort of dents and things. That's really good. Having a spatula, sandpaper, get your canvas ready, and then deciding if you want colours or themes to flow through your home. And as you say, you could pick up one bit and put it somewhere else and it wouldn't look out of place.
Exactly. And it's about pattern, you know, it's about, you know, because we've talked about upcycling a piece of furniture, because that can really change your room. But if you want that lovely flow in your house, I think it's a really nice concept to think about, how do I achieve that? And even if you've got like, you know, different, for example, furniture or walls, so you've got dark wood, pine furniture, you know, maybe paint your floor a different color. You know, I personally like, if there's too many different kinds of woods, or your eyes, where am I going?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But maybe all your floors are one color, or if you've got a lot of wood in your furniture, that's wooden furniture in a white room and a dark floor, then maybe make the floor a darker color or a lighter color, so it complements the pine. And otherwise your eyes are battling for two. Simple things like that.
Yeah, you almost want it to be completely different rather than trying to match that's not quite matching right.
Yeah. Again, saving money. And I think, you know, to think about your home as a whole. And, you know, at the moment, I think we're all thinking about our spaces and how lucky we are to have them and how to make the most of them. So, but not cost a lot of money. And that is it's so simple. Just, you know, paint. I love paint. It's just, it can change your room and change your mood. Like that, you know. Yeah,
for sure. Excellent stuff. So that's kind of just getting started with how to sort of decorate your home and on a budget. Definitely learn it. I mean, YouTube's amazing for teaching you how to do things if you've never done it before.
Incredible.
Have it on the side as you're going. But yeah, deciding what you want and taking your time over it, I think will essentially save you money as well, if you're not doing things that you won't keep for a while.
Yeah, I mean, you're dead right, Vicky. Time. I mean, that's what we've, you know, time is one of the most precious. I mean, as you get older, time is one of the most precious commodities you have. And I think especially when you're doing your home, and if you rush into doing something, and also, you know, testers are great.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we've talked about them before on furniture, and I've used a tester on a chair. You can't do that. Well, why can't you? If I do it and I varnish it and I've sanded it, and it's not going to go anywhere. So this is the thing to think about your walls. And, you know, so really think about, I think homework for everyone is to think about what you want to change, why you want to change it, and what colours do you like.
Yeah, absolutely. So get yourself ready. And next week we can have a chat about actually how to do it on a real budget, and sort of finding all those little bits and how to change it and things like that.
Yeah. And also what's really good is to look at your diary when you can do these things, because they are time consuming and you don't want to rush them.
No, I always find that whenever I do DIY, it's like a time vacuum. It always takes so much longer than you think it is, but because you really want to do a really good job, and as well as you're going, you always see more than what you did in the beginning, I always think. Yeah,
I mean, as soon as you start, you go, what's that over there? what's that? Why is that doing that? You know, and
Yeah.
it always takes longer. So always, you know,
Yeah.
set a day. Today we are doing this.
Yeah.
You know, and do it bit by bit. I mean, obviously, if you've got a big family, everyone's moving in the house, you've got flatmates, you can't say to someone, I'm going to revamp the house while you're in. It's great. You're just going to have to sit around, excuse the paint. Sorry, you know, when you need to, you know, no, you can't do that. But, you know, wall by wall, even, you know, gradual window, especially in the summer, it's a good time to get the painting done while we have the heat as well.
Yeah, that's it. Absolutely. Fabulous. Thank you very much. That's kind of the prep work before we really tackle how to do home decor on a budget. But we'll talk about that next week. So we'll be back next week, Saturday, 10:30, talking more budget and home decoration.
Fantastic. Brilliant. Yes. Get everyone, do your homework.
Yeah. Decide what you want and take your time to do it. Yeah. Fab. Well, thank you ever so much, and thank you very much for watching. As I said, we'll be back next week, Saturday, 10:30, talking more home decor on a budget. But Tally, thank you very much.
Very welcome, Vicky. Have a lovely week, everyone.
And you, and we will see you all next time. See you later.
Bye.